Hi, my name is Zoe, and this is my dog Miso. A year ago, I decided to move to the countryside of Japan to pursue my dream of becoming a full-time artist. Here are snippets of my day-to-day life. I hope you enjoy. It is currently 4:30 and I have just finished the pants. I am not going to hem them until I get to Australia because I want to check that the length is correct for my dad, but I basically just need to thread in the elastic and the drawstring, dye them, and then sew on this beautiful patch pocket, which I'm already so excited about. But yeah, I am just so surprised at how fast that was. I even did the bound edge on the waistband. I don't know what it was, but I felt like I was going slower than normal, but yeah, everything just seemed to flow really smoothly. Even changing the binding for it was really easy. The last time I did it, it wouldn't let me take the screws out very easily. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it comes down to the meditation or yeah, just in the flow today. So yeah, I reckon I finished them super fast, which is awesome, and I'll be ready to dye them tomorrow. So first things first is that I am gonna put these in the wash and just kind of give these a wash because they have the chalk on them from where I drew the drawstring holes. So I'm going to give these a quick wash while I set up the kakishibu, and yeah, then we're going to start dyeing these today. Here is the new liquid. I bought 2 litres, so hopefully I get a bit of extra this time. I have just prepared my dye bath here. I have 2 litres of liquid. 1 litre is the kakishibu dye that I bought here. And then the other litre is just plain tap water. And then I have my iron bath here, which is about a 2% iron to water ratio. You usually calculate your percentage from the fabric weight. I probably do it on a more heavier side, anywhere from 2 to 4%, because I just noticed that the colour doesn't go as dark. It goes more of like a light grey, bluey kind of colour, if that is the case. But yeah, I'm just about to get my damp fabric and put that in this for 30 minutes while I massage it, and then we will transfer it to this for 30 minutes, hang it to dry, and we'll just repeat the process until it is complete. Hey Siri, can you set a timer for 30 minutes? Here we go. 30 minutes starting now. This is what it looks like so far. And the iron bath is super yellow, so that is a good sign. Turned a really beautiful shade of grey now. You can see it. Like so. Hey Siri, you set timer for 30 minutes?
10 minutes starting now.
Not 10 minutes, 30 minutes please.
It's cancelled. 40 minutes starting now.
今日は効きが悪いですね。These are the fermentation bubbles. And you can already see the color has changed so much in just a matter of seconds. What's Miso up to? What are you doing? It's only been a couple of minutes and the color has already gone super dark. I was not expecting that, but it is off to a good start. In the meantime, I'm having a little persimmon break. These are the dried persimmons I made the other week, and I've just filled it with cream cheese, and boy do they taste so good. So I've been munching away on these over the last week or so. Ended up coming out pretty dark for the first time, which is good. Something like that. But that is the colour so far. And there we have it. That is round 1 done out of probably about 4 rounds. I'm just going to flip it around to the other side so you can see what it looks like wet. So this is what it looks like when it's still wet after the first dye. So the pants have dried and this is the colour after the first coat. It looks pretty dark, but I might just move it over into the sun so we can see the colour a bit better. But yeah, this is kind of the colour when it is in natural light. Well, maybe it's a bit too bright now. Somewhere about there. But yeah, this is kind of the colour. It's this very like purpley blue colour. So this is after round 1. I'm just going to put it in the washing machine now and then start round 2. The wash is not to wash the pants by any means. It's just literally to pre-wet them. So I'm literally just going to put it on like a 5-minute spin, and then not a spin, a 5-minute wash, and then a spin, and just do that. This is the second time wet, and little Miso in the background doing something. 何やってんの？ここがいいの？なんか楽しんでるね。Also, it has literally not even been a month and I have caught a cold, and now I realise that the illness that I had last month must have just been like full-on fatigue, and this is the actual cold. But yeah, just super annoying. Me and this is super cold winter. We just don't have this kind of weather in Australia, so it has definitely taken its toll on my body. And yeah, just living in a really old house too that doesn't have any heating, or having a shower that's outside is definitely a bit of a struggle after coming from a Western lifestyle. But yeah, I'm kind of at the end of it now and hopefully can get that second round of the kaki shibu in. I'm just going to make sure I keep myself nice and warm while I do it, because I'm literally right at the tail end of this cold now. It's been like, this is my 3rd or 4th day, so yeah, just staying warm and keeping inside as much as I can. Thank God it is like really nice weather today. It's going to be like 13 or 14 degrees over the next 3 days, so I'll be able to get those pants done and yeah, just not absolutely freeze, because the first day I did it, it was like 7 degrees, and yeah, it felt warm because the sun was out, but I just wasn't wearing a scarf and hat, and then I think, yeah, some of the wind got into my ears and all went downhill from there, because I just remember halfway through dyeing them and feeling like I'm actually like a little bit cold. So yeah, that seems to have been all where it started. But anyway, I do also need to get onto the buttonholes for my husband's jacket. He is going away from tomorrow night, so I need to get it all finished before then. I was hoping to have sewn all the buttonholes on by hand and had them all kind of completed, but you know, life kind of got in the way here, so it just is what it is. But yeah, I'm just going to get the pants into the dye and then get started on the jacket too. So just got my buttons back from the kiln. I ended up making 2 varieties. So there are these circular ones, and they're quite interesting. Ooh, if I can get it in focus. Oh, it's really not wanting to focus. Hello. Hopefully, maybe if I do this, put it on my hand. But yeah, you can see that it's got a bit of a greeny kind of tinge to it, which is pretty cool. And then also the square ones as well, looking like that. But yeah, I will just need to sand the back a bit. But yeah, super excited to put them on my jacket and make the buttonholes for that now as well. This is the colour after the second dye. It's starting to get a little bit darker, but it's still pretty purple. So I'm gonna just again wash it in some water and spin it out so that it is nice and wet and ready for our third dye bath. I'm trying something a little bit different today, which is I'm not putting it in the mordant. I'm just adding more layers of kakishibu. So hopefully it works out. Otherwise I'm gonna have to redo it, but it should be right. It's already in there once, so I'm hoping that my theory works out. This is the third dye, and we are starting to finally look black, so it's a good sign. It is dripping away, drip drying at the moment, but yeah, this is kind of it. This is while it's wet, so it will be interesting to see what it looks like when it dries up. I've just been looking with these buttons to decide if I wanted this square or the round, but I think the round is gonna look so good. So I've decided to go along with them. It is time to make the buttonholes for these guys now. So the next little fun game, I have machined around these lightly, but I'm gonna get this embroidery thread and then kind of go around these one by one. So I have my 6 buttonholes. It'll probably take me most of the day. They do take so long to do by hand, but they look fantastic. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of slowly chip away at this, and yeah, tune in when I'm done. For that, this one part of my house is just like a little sunroom. You can see it's like the one part of the house that is nice and warm. So I'm just gonna sit here on this chair, and then I've got my jacket with my thread, my snips, and I'm just gonna go in here today with a shishu hari, which means like a cross stitch needle. I think it will just be a bit sharper and nicer than the sashiko. Sometimes they get a bit long and in the way, so I'm just going to use one of these ones that has like a big eye and it looks nice and pointy on the end here. So here we have it. It has been about 3 to 4 hours later, and all of the buttons and buttonholes are done. It's looking super fabulous. I'm so excited. That means that this is finally complete, and yeah.
This is what the pants look like after the third dye. The blue colour has basically disappeared. It still has a slight purple tinge though, that you can see a little bit. So yeah, I think one more dye and they should kind of be finished. I also only mortared them the first time, so it's good to know that they still worked out without the extra work. Hopefully this will be my last dye because it's the last day with warm weather and it's going to be pretty tricky to dye them if I don't get it done today. So yeah, this is the final wet colour. The wind is making it sway around so much, oh my gosh. But we are finally black, so that is good, and I can't wait to see what these look like when they're dry. I think that should hopefully be the last dye. So this is what the colour looks like after the fourth dye. It is right in the sun right now, so it's gone a bit lighter. In the shadows it does look a more pure black, but I mean, that being said, it's never going to be like a jet black colour, but I'm pretty happy with the results. It is going to change pretty much after the first 3 or 4 washes anyway, so this is good enough. I'm just going to give it its final wash before I can put on the patch pockets and stuff, because I don't know, but it's pretty like stiff and gross at the moment, so I want to soften the fabric up again. So I'm just going to chuck it in the washing machine now, and then yeah, it's just finishing touches and that is done. Also, this is my series of easy pants. So this pair here is for my acupuncturist. She said her favorite color is like red, so I've put in some red as well as like orange and purple and like a deeper wine color. I know that she quite likes colorful stuff, so I made that one pretty colorful. Then this pair here is for my dad. His favorite color is also red, but I thought I would just do it a bit more plain and kind of like less crazy for him. So that is kind of those two pairs. Now this is just a pair that I have kind of decided to rejig for myself. I made them for my market and they didn't sell, so they're just a tiny bit too long for me, so I'm going to kind of rehem them. But this was before I kind of came across these kind of pocket styles that I really like. This was when I was first just kind of jigging the idea out. So I don't like this one, so I have actually unpicked the pocket and I'm gonna make a new pocket for it because I just don't really like that one. This was my first original sample pair, and this was actually this color to begin with, this really dark black. So this one's been in storage for about 6 months. You can see it's already starting to kind of change more over to this color. So they do eventually change over time, but yeah, just pretty crazy, like the color difference from black to this really warm, beautiful brown kind of color. But anyway, I really like how I did the pocket here. This is kind of what inspired all of the other pockets. So yeah, this is my series of the easy pants. If you want to get a pair, you can contact me and I will sort you out. But yeah, this is kind of the way. I have them all the way from a small to like a 5XL at the moment for the size. I've graded them all, so they are like super easy to make now and ready to go. So yeah, I'm excited to finish this. I found this shop a couple of weeks ago and it was basically all these different kinds of like vintage buttons and beads and stuff like that. And it has this beautiful, this is like recycled Saori fabric that has just been like unthreaded and then spun. Oh, hopefully it goes into focus. It's a bit struggling. There we go. So yeah, this is just like recycled Saori fabric that has been spun into thread. So it's like fully silk. So I'm going to weave a pocket out of this in my kind of style like this with this. So yeah, that should give a pretty beautiful and interesting thing. And yeah, I just think that's going to be awesome. This is what I want to wear to the airport because they're so loose and comfy. And once I get to Singapore, it is going to be like so humid and disgusting after coming from like freezing cold in Japan. And then
when I arrive in Adelaide, it's going to be like 39 degrees. So luckily I'm getting there at like 5 p.m. So I'm getting the very like end of it. But yeah, I definitely just think linen, loose, comfy pants is the way to go when you're on the plane. I hate wearing like tight and fitted stuff on the plane. So yeah, also gives me a chance I can wear like the thermal leggings when I do the Japan to Singapore leg and then take them off completely and then probably start sweltering when I do my Singapore to Adelaide leg. So yeah, it's exciting, and I'm just going to try and do the pocket today and then hopefully start packing because I have not even started that either. But yeah, that's just life, isn't it? But yeah, I thought these just look so nice together, my pants. The kind of, what's the word, series of continuation from new. These ones I have literally worn every single day to work until it got really cold because linen and thermals just didn't cut it. But pretty much every day in the summer I wore these pants, so they have gotten really beautiful, nice aging. So I'm excited for how these ones are going to come out. They're made from a slightly nicer fabric, a bit more high quality. And yeah, obviously I'm not going to use them from work, so they probably won't get as disgusting. But yeah, this is just my easy pants collection at the moment.